Okay. And now we go to Friday the 1st, the next page, August 1st. And there's another iron. Or another eye, I should say. And you recall that either Mr. Hudson or Mr. Mosley told you that they intended to do a weight workout that day?
There was something in their schedule that in our discussion that caused that notation, yes.
Okay. And then the 6th, which is some 11 days after, there's another eye. And what do you recall anything as to why you put the eye there on the 6th?
I don't know, can't recall exactly their schedule, their training schedule, but it seems that in general, if they did it on the Thursday, which was a Wednesday, and then they did it on another Wednesday here the following week, that there was something in their routine that they were doing on Wednesday now they also must have had something planned on the Friday, but I believe that's the reason.
Okay. And then what, because we now have the 8th.
Well, let's talk about the 8th for a second. You see there's also an eye.
Yes.
But if you go back and you compare with the start date on the 26th, the page before, you see it says 2 iron. At the end of this 2-week period, the corrective phase, where he was taking the EPO 3 times per week before reducing to 1 type, on that day, and he was supposed to thereafter have his blood drawn, it says reduced to only 1 iron. And so iron is spelled out, so clearly I doesn't mean iron.
Well, it does say I, and it also says reduced to 1 iron. There's an I and a reduced to iron.
But once again, iron is taken 7 days a week. It's not something you take on specific days.
Is there a reason why I does not show up anywhere else?
My best guess is that they didn't have their workouts precisely planned in terms of day after that, so we talked through the first couple of weeks, and then they knew, on which days that you would use it, and they probably used that accordingly.
Let's go to Exhibit 5.
Can we fold this up?
Yeah, I do. You can leave it there. Here is Exhibit 5 to be marked. Have you seen this document before?
Yes, I have.
All right. You see at the end it says /S Victor Conte. Did you in fact sign a copy of this document at one point?
I believe that I did.
Okay. Did you understand that you were signing a document that was under oath?
Yes, I did.
Same oath that you took here today? And I take it given the importance of the oath, you read this very carefully to make sure that it was completely accurate. I don't think we need to look at the
answer is yes. There were several drafts of this, and could there be a statement here that may have been an oversight on my part? Possibly, but for the most part, this is accurate, and yes, I signed it.
Okay. Let's look at paragraph 5.
Sorry.
Well, actually, let's go to paragraph 3. And I'm going to read this. Actually, paragraph 4. Shortly after Mr. Mosley and Mr. Hudson arrived at the Balco offices, Jim Valenti accompanied them to Peninsula Health Services. At Peninsula Health Services, Mr. Mosley's blood and urine samples were collected for blood chemistry panel, complete blood count tests to measure plaintiff's T3, T4, and TSH and mineral and trace element analysis. The first question I have is, I think you testified earlier that there was no urine sample taken.
That's correct.
Is there a reason why you stated under oath that there was urine samples taken when, in fact, there were no urine samples taken?
I didn't know that I stated that there was, you mean, oh, the blood and urine samples. It's a mistake.
Okay. And what is T3, T4, and TSH?
In fact, let me try to clarify this.
Well, I'd just like the answer of your question.
Well, I'll answer your
okay,
question.
I did ask a why question, so it's fair.
Okay.
Go ahead and answer.
And what you have to understand is that when the federal government came in, and I originally had all of the athletes' folders with all of their lab reports and the whole history of these athletes all together. What they did is they pulled out separate, like FedEx or Lab 1 or Quest Diagnostic or Balco Laboratories, and they grouped all these together in other headings that are part of these more than 33,000 pages of documents. So when I looked for some of this stuff, my recollection is now we probably did do a urine test on him. I don't know exactly where to find it now. I've got lots of boxes, and I certainly looked, but there's a huge amount of information there, and this is based upon routinely what that workup consisted of. So did we do on the majority of people the T3, T4, TSH? Yes. Did we do a urine test? Yes. Did we do the mineral and trace element test and a chemistry and a complete blood count? Yes. Is it possible that I could even still find those reports? Maybe. I certainly did a lot of looking, and I came up with what I came up with, and we passed it on to you.
Well, let me ask
So
you,
are there other test results possibly out there that either the government has or that are somewhere in storage that have been moved a half a dozen times? It's possible.
all right. Are any of what is a T3, T4, and TSH?
These are thyroid.
And how do you test for that?
It's a blood test.
Okay. Is there anything here that reflects what would be in a urine test?
Yes, we did a combination. We centrifuge or spin down the blood, and we separated it into the red blood cell compartment and the fluid portion called plasma. And we looked at a panel of approximately, depending upon sample type, but generally about 20 elements in 3 compartments: red blood cells, plasma, and urine.
Okay.
So I do believe that they're I know when he asked me and I dug, and we did find some of this as much as we can. I do believe somewhere there is a urine test that we collected on Shane. Let me finish. For mineral and trace element testing, I don't think we ever sent one to Quest Diagnostic to be screened for steroids. This is just my recollection.
All right. Are you saying then that in answering our document requests, you did not go through every document you had in your possession to make sure that you had produced every possible document that we had requested?
I looked for it and could not find it.
That's not my question. You said that there were 33,000 documents.
No, he said 33,000 documents the government took.
Oh.
Or had. Or
Had, and they gave us as discovery. All these originals are no longer in my possession.
How many documents did you have in your possession to review?
A lot. I can't. It's hard to give you a precise
Did you
number,
go-
but a lot.
did you
I
go
looked
through
and looked
every-
and-
I'm asking you
Yes,
a
I did.
question. You went through every
Yes, I did, and
single
I couldn't.
question.
I did not find it.
So, to your knowledge, at least in terms of every document that you have no record of any urine test.
No.